Welcome YouTube lovers, this is Raptor V268 and I'm going to be working on my wife's van. It's a Ford E-350 Superduty, and I brought my van in yesterday to just tires to get a front end alignment, and they told me that my upper ball joint on the driver's side was a little loose, so they aligned it and they said that just replace it and then bring it back. So I'm going to show you how it looks. This is how you grab it when you want to check and see if it's loose. You grab the top part with your hand and the bottom part with your other hand, and you shake it and you feel it. I don't know if you can hear it, but I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to grab it and shake it and see if you can see the upper ball joint moving. Hang on, I gotta move the camera again. Okay, I'm gonna take this. I got a lot of this stuff already prepped, so it's gonna take long to get this off. Took most of these bolts off, or these nuts off. Took most of them off earlier, so I can get this prepped. Just so I could fit it on this 10-minute length that they give us on YouTube. Okay, you can see that. I'll show you some of the tools I'll be using today. I got my impact wrench, air hammer with a ball joint separator, a really good tool. 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, couple wrenches, big pry bar, big hammer. Like I said, I prepped a lot of this earlier, so usually to get these off, you take a piece of wood, something, get it on an angle, keep on turning it, and it pops off. I took off the cotter pin already, so I didn't have to mess with that stuff, because sometimes that stuff takes a little while. Usually when I do this, when I take off this tie rod, I usually you can use a tie rod separator fork, but you usually mess up the ball. So what I'll do is I'll take a hammer, sledgehammer. This ain't a sledgehammer, but I usually take a sledgehammer, hit it like that. I usually get the bolt and nut even so I don't mess up the threads. Pull that off. Like I said, I got this prepped earlier, so a lot of this stuff's gonna fly. It just takes 2 bolts to hold on the brake caliper. Those can be really hard to take off sometimes. Now there's a, can't see it now, but I will. But there's a, there's the bearing. I'll be re-greasing that later on. I don't know if you can see it. And it just comes off like this. I could take the caliper off with the rotor, but I'm just gonna leave it on because I'm just gonna leave it on. Okay, put this to the side. Okay, this thing is the ABS brake sensor. You gotta be really careful with these things. They can break and they're really expensive to replace. I replaced one on a car, passenger car. I think it cost me like $80-90 just for this little sensor. So be real careful. This is just screwed into in there, and there's a plug. It was plugged in right over here. I unplugged it earlier, so. Like I said, I prepped this all earlier. These don't come out like this easy. The next part is really hard to take off. Now this is the lower ball joint. This is the upper ball joint. While I'm doing the upper, I'm going to replace the lower too. So since I got it off, because just common sense just to replace them both while you got this thing on, so you don't have to take it off later on. Now this comes off really easy. Usually it's really hard. Now this is gonna fall, but usually you gotta put like don't ever fall like that. Usually you gotta take a fork like this. This is a ball joint fork. They make them for tie rods too. I don't know if you can see it. Goes on the air hammer. You put it in between here. I put it on the side here because it doesn't fit, because this is a big ball joint for this truck. I usually put it to the side and just push it through, and it separates it, you know, and it pops off. But I usually leave the bolt on so it don't fall and hit the ground. And then I put the I usually put this nut back on the threads, because whenever you're messing with these, this thing always hits the bottom of the ground and you mess up the threads. That was to get this separated. That's a tough job. I had to have a big pry bar too. I had this in there with the air hammer, hammering it away, and I had a big pry bar up here, and it took me about a half hour to get this separated. If I had a bigger fork, or if I could fit the fork in between here, it would have separated within a couple minutes. There you go. I'm going to be replacing those. I'm going to be replacing the lower ball joint. It's not loose. I replaced this before. And the upper ball joint. And these got to be pressed out with a press. The bottom gets pressed out. How does it work again? The top gets pressed out first, then the bottom second, and then the bottom gets pressed in. And then the top gets pressed in when you're let me go over that again. When you're taking them apart, I think the top comes off. If I remember right, the top ball joint comes off first, then the bottom comes out. Then when you're assembling it, you put the top in first and then the bottom. They both get this gets pressed up, this gets pressed down. You can see this thing right here. I already got it off a little bit. Get that with a screwdriver, and it'll be pressed out. I'm just gonna get it. It's gonna be for another video. and get my ball press out and press these balls out. So it's my replacing my upper and lower ball joints on my front van. Thanks for watching. There'll be another video showing me pressing those suckers out. See you later, YouTube lovers.